Easy people, welcome back to my channel. Just let me sort my microphone out here at Big Steve MCFC. Well, there's not a lot I can say about that performance at weekend. I've had the full bank holiday weekend to digest it, dissect it, and try and pull the positives out of it. And I'm not getting very far. At the end of the day, from the Wolves game last weekend, which was a breath of fresh air. We spoke about it on the channel, how good it was and how great it was to see all the attacking options, etc. we had, to then go to a home game against Tottenham and be literally just totally the opposite end of the scale. You know what I mean? Bullied, yeah, pressed, outfought, outbattled. These are all the kind of words and phrases that you can throw at it, because one thing I'm not going to do is come on here and try and sugarcoat it. It was pretty embarrassing performance, to be honest. You know what I mean? The team, he made some changes, positive changes. Cherky was in for Bernardo and Mamouche was in for Jeremy Doku. It looked very, very offensive. We do know Spurs are quite a physical team. We did see against Paris Saint-Germain in the Super Cup that they pressed Paris Saint-Germain a lot. And to be honest, they should have won that game. It was only near the death where Paris turned it on and got the result in the end, obviously, with the penalties. But you're looking at that Man City team, it's good enough to beat Tottenham. You know what I mean? The game starts, 20 minutes in, I'm thinking, we're doing all right. Mamouche is getting a bit of space out on the left. Couple of chances. Haaland playing in Mamouche hit the goalkeeper's body. I didn't think we looked troubled. Ait Naori on the left was looking okay. And then it all went to shit. You know what I mean? The first goal, which was marginal, offside. Richarlison managed to keep on. Ruben Diaz slipped. I mean, I don't know what was going on with our players at the back, especially. We're all slipping. So they need to sort the fucking boots out, because it was getting beyond a joke. Everyone was slipping. They pull the ball across. Rico Lewis is on his own in the middle, tries to cut it out. Bang, Brennan Johnson 1-0. And you're thinking to yourself, here we go again. You know what I mean? But sometimes Manchester City do need a goal rammed up them to get them going. But this had the opposite effect. I'm going to talk about the goalkeeping situation. You know, it's been torn this week about Ederson and Trafford and Donnarumma, etc., etc. One thing I did say was I don't think Trafford would be number one this year. I thought that Ederson would definitely be number one. Trafford would come in, shadow him, fight it out, etc., etc. A lot of people getting on me for that. Oh, no, Trafford this, Trafford that, Ederson's this, Ederson's that. Well, you did see how good Ederson is on the ball with how bad Trafford was on the ball. You know what I mean? Tottenham decided to press us high and fast, right? We couldn't cope with it. The ball goes back to Trafford. If that's Ederson, that ball gets played out wide. It gets dinked over the press. Manchester City attack. They think twice about pressing us, because at the end of the day, if every time they press us, Ederson's going to dink it over the press or get rid of it quick. Trafford didn't want the ball. He did not want the ball. He looked shaky. He looked like he didn't want it. His confidence was drained. The crowd was on him every time he got it. He was launching it just into the sky, anywhere. You know what I mean? It was terrible. And the second goal, Nico Gonzalez, why he's asking for the ball there, I do not know. Gets the ball, bit of a shit pass. We lose it, bit of a scramble. Paulinho, bang, 2-0. And then you just know them. That's it. Tottenham have got something to defend. They've got something to hold on to. And they just made it hard work for us. But the thing is, we created no chances. We created no chances at all. It was embarrassing. Cherky looked out of his depth from the off. He was getting pressed in midfield. Sarr for them was unbelievable, I thought. Kudos again on the wing, I thought was outstanding. Mickey van der Ven and Romero at the back didn't look troubled. And basically, they took the game to an intensity that we couldn't cope with. And that's embarrassing for me as a Manchester City supporter, because we're the team that takes the game to the intensity that teams can't cope with. Nobody else. So to be getting pressed like that in your own stadium and getting out fought and out battled, it was kind of embarrassing, to be honest. You know what I mean? We've got to call it out for what it was. We know we've got issues at the back. Why aren't we addressing them? We know we've got a right back issue. Why aren't we addressing it? Rico Lewis, right? The fan base is torn on Rico Lewis, but there's one thing, you're torn on him because you like him, because he's a nice kid. That is all. Because I'm telling you now, if you all look in the back of your brain, you're going to have to be honest with yourself. Rico Lewis is not good enough to play week in and week out for a title-winning Manchester City team. When the going gets tough and teams press us, Rico Lewis gets exposed. They take the ball off him too easily. He gets caught out of position many, many times, and he's a liability. When Manchester City are bullying teams, like against Wolves, the bullying teams, Rico, yeah, he's fine on the ball. He comes in midfield. He adds to the attack. He's enjoying his football. He's great. He's overlapping. He's underlapping. He looks a great player. But when the chips are down and Manchester City are getting it put on him, he's the one they're targeting. I'm telling you now, he's the one they're targeting. Nico Gonzalez, the same. Very, very lightweight, getting bullied off the ball. Papa Sarr, whatever he's called. Just wrapped a leg round him every time. Give me the ball back. Too easy. Too easy. And if you've got a lack of enforcement in the midfield, you're just going to get ran through. And at the end of the day, they did. They ran through us. We were poor, so poor. And it sets the alarm bells ringing, because then you start doubting yourself. So you're watching the Wolves game the week before and you're thinking, we're all right here. We're not a bad side. You know what I mean? One or two little tweaks and we're going to go for it. And then you go to Tottenham at weekend and you're getting exposed. It's like the World Club Cup. Juventus 1 week, we're beating them 5-2. The week after, Al Hilal with a bit of pace, they murder us. So pace is an issue. Yeah, we haven't got it. The back four has not got no pace. You know, midfield without Rodri is too lightweight. When we've got the ball and we're playing football and we're ticking over and teams sit back, we will murder them. We will murder them. When teams come face to face, aggressive, angry, pressing us all across the park, we got no balls. That's what happened. No balls. No one with any balls. When was the last time? Yeah. When was the last time you went to the Etihad or an away game and you seen a Manchester City player put a challenge in what made you wince and you thought, fucking go on, what a challenge. Get stuck into him. Bang, get in there. What a challenge. Because I can't remember one. Because none of our lads do that. And Tottenham were flying into a few challenges, winning the ball, knocking us about like fuck. We just take it. We just take it on the chin. You know what I mean? Let them do it. We got bullied. We got absolutely bullied, people. And that's the only way you can say it. And we defend the team and we defend Pep and all that, but we got bullied. There's a problem in the back four and the right back situation. We can all see it. We've all said it all summer, right? He's got 1 week to fix that. Otherwise, it's going to be the story of our season. You're going to get teams, good teams, that know if they come to the Etihad or we come to their ground to press us and press us and press us, and we can't play football. The way they pressed the other night, Tottenham, was like how City used to press. Trafford was putting out for throw-ins. He was getting edgy. He didn't know what to do. Now, this whole goalkeeper situation is weird. The big fundamental that we've always done as a Pep team is start out from the back with a goalkeeper that can play football. We sacrificed Joe Hart. We sacrificed Willie Caballero. We sacrificed Claudio Bravo, etc., to get this goalkeeper that can start the attack and keep calm under pressure. We've now changed that to a young goalkeeper who's a fantastic goalkeeper, by the way. But that part of his game needs working on. Now, are we supposed to just let him go through a season and work on it as the season, like an ongoing job? You know what I mean? Because we can't afford to, because it's going to cost us points. So that situation needs addressing. Donnarumma looks like he's going to come in. Yet again, another goalkeeper who's not the greatest with his feet. So I don't know what Pep's got up his sleeve. Agnelli went off. Nathan Ake had to come at left back. We look very, very slow, very, very leggy. Nathan Ake, Ruben Diaz, John Stones, Rico Lewis. That back four is not good enough to win us the league. I'm sorry, it's not. They're well past it, a lot of them. Stones is injury prone, do you know what I mean? And lacks pace. Ruben Diaz, he's got a lot of balls and a bit of fight about him, but lacks pace. Nathan, getting more and more injuries, looks like he's lost a yard to me. And Rico Lewis, in my opinion, not good enough. So the alarm bells are ringing, the alarm bells are ringing. There's no way on this earth we should be getting beat off Tottenham 2-0. After last year, we got beat 4-0. So we got to learn lessons from it. Pep's got to learn lessons from it. The amount of messages I've had this week about, Pep out and this, that, and the other and all that, people are reactionary, I get it. And there was nobody more disappointing than me. And what started off as a positive week in the first game, where I thought, fucking hell, we could do something this season. We look like we're balling out. Reinders, Cherky, Haaland, etc. Then they bring you back down to earth with a bump. Do you know what I mean? I can handle getting beat off a better side in a game where it's not quite your day. But what I can't handle is getting out-fought and out-pressed by Tottenham with a new manager in a new team with not as many good players as us. That shouldn't be allowed. One thing this Man City team has always been is runners, pressers, you know what I mean? Get the ball back quick, play our football. We don't let other teams knock us off our stride. Now, teams are coming and just knocking us off our stride, and we're not getting back into the stride to win the game. Do you know what I mean? Cherky starting, some would have said that's a good move at the start. It turned out a bad move. I thought that taking Bernardo Silva out the middle, we lost a bit of energy in there. Mamouche on the left-hand side, he did relatively okay. I didn't think he was too bad. He should have scored. A couple of chances where he could have brought it down, he missed. But other than that, we created nothing. Oscar Bob, Jed Spence is a demon of a fullback. Do you know what I mean? He wants to challenge. He wants the best wingers. He's a bit arrogant about it. I like that with him. And Oscar never really tested him. You know what I mean? He never really put it down and got his head down and made him work for it. Jed sort of bullied him a little bit. And that happened all across the park. We were bullied. Nico Gonzalez bullied off the ball. Reinders bullied off the ball. Rico Lewis bullied off the ball. It was a hard watch, people. It was a hard watch. And there's going to be better teams we're going to come up against in the next few weeks. So we need to get our act together and sharp. Now, I don't know what you guys think. We're here for an open, honest discussion. I don't want to just see Pep out. Pep needs to go out. Pep out, and all that bullshit. I don't really need to see that. Pep's not going anywhere. So how do we fix it? What's your opinions? Nico Gonzalez, is he good enough if Rodri's not there? Rico Lewis, is he a right back? Is he a midfielder? Second of all, is he good enough to be in this team? Because we've got a standard as Manchester City Football Club to hit. We've won 4 league titles in a row. We've won a treble. The standard is up here. Some of these players are here. And there's another player I'm going to tell you now who's on very thin ice. Jeremy Doku. Jeremy Doku is on very, very thin ice. Because one thing this football club, the last 10 years, has proud itself on is wingers, that actually can do something in the final third. And at the minute, Jeremy Doku's not delivering. He come on the other day, he was running into dead ends, he was shooting wide, he looked like he was pretty much lost. And I've always give Jeremy the benefit of the doubt, as with Savinho. But there comes a point when you've got to take a step back and think, hold on a minute, are these wingers good enough for our Manchester City team? Because I'm looking at Arsenal with the new signing Eze. They look good all across the park. They look like they've got 2 or 3 in each position. They look like if someone's injured, somebody can just slot in there and the machine keeps on rolling. We look like if we get Ruben Diaz injured and we've got to play a Kanje, or we've got to go and play Nathan Ake, then that's a downgrade. If we get a right back injury, we've got to play Nunes. That's not going to work. Naori's now injured. We've got to play, Nathan Ake at fullback or Nico O'Reilly there. That's a downgrade. Do you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, you're looking at City and we've got like square pegs in round holes. We're just pigeonholing players in positions. He doesn't make his mind up. We never play a settled team. 1 minute we're playing with wingers, Savinho, Doku, etc., etc. Next minute it's like Bernardo and Foden, or Mamouche and Foden, or something like that. One shining light is that we've got Phil Foden and Rodri to come back. They came off the bench late in the game. I thought Foden was positive. His first touch was always forward. He was trying to get on the ball. And Rodri just looks like he's getting there. You know what I mean? I think when Rodri and Foden are back, offensively, midfield-wise, we're all right. But this defence is worrying me. It's very, very worrying. We've got Cousinov on the bench who's got the pace. I know he's not a right-back. But if you're playing a midfielder at right back, surely to God, Cousinov could be a right back. We need the pace. We're going to get exposed. People are getting on it. If I'm playing Manchester City now, I'm telling us to get in Man City's face. Yeah. Run and run and run. Press, press, press. Make sure to give the ball back to Trafford. If they give the ball back to Trafford, you will get the ball back within 60 seconds because he'll knock it out for a throw-in, or he'll blast it up the park and you'll win it back. That's not the Manchester City that I know. That's not Manchester City that we all know, you know what I mean? So we got to fix it, and Pep's got to fix it. He's brought in backroom staff, seen Colo Touré barking orders on the touchline. Pep Linder's the same. The new set piece guy was waffling around in the technical area. So he's had the tools, Pep. You wanted your backroom staff in, you've got it. You wanted a January window, you had it. You wanted a summer window, you had it. But at the minute, we're going into the third week of the season. We don't know who our number one goalkeeper is. We've not got a right back. Rodri's still not fit. Foden's still not fit. Aitnior is now out for 3 weeks. And we've just been beat at home off Tottenham 2-0. So it's not looking good, people. We've got Manchester United, Brighton and Arsenal coming up. Brighton away is always tough at the Amex. Always tough. They're going to do exactly the same. Going to try and press us, get in our face. Man United at home, we keep losing to these worst Man United teams. We're absolutely baiting them out for being shit. And then they're coming to the Etihad and fucking beating us. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. That last year was embarrassing. Now, if they come after watching them against Fulham and get anything at the Etihad, we've got a serious fucking problem. I'm telling you now, because they are shit. And then we're going to the Emirates the week after, and Arsenal do look good. And we got levered 5-1 there last season. So at the end of the day, we need to make sure that doesn't fucking happen again. So we need to switch on. And Pep's got to get it right. And I've said it all last season, and people are going to say, Steve, you said this last season, Pep, we got to trust in Pep and all that. Well, what else do you want us to do? We ain't getting rid of him. You know what I mean? And it's only the second game of the season. So let's get this week out of the way. Let's get some signings in. Let's get this Brighton game out of the way, and we need to go again. At the end of the day, I don't usually talk about like this because people say, oh, you're being negative. And I'm not negative, but there comes a point where I've got to take a step back and say, right, Pep was entitled to a bad season. He had it last year. He's asked for players for a rebuild. We've given him the rebuild. There's no excuses now, because the last thing I want is Pep Guardiola damaging his legacy at Manchester City by not being 100% where he needs to be. And the reason I'm saying that is because there's certain signs creeping in, and there's certain fans now starting to ask the question whether Pep, has got this rebuild right. I know it's only the second game of the season, and I know it's only Tottenham, but that's us as Man City fans. We are like that. You know what I mean? We're up 1 week. Last week against Wolves, we're winning the league, the treble. People mess it. We're winning a lot, Steve. This week, we're fucking lucky if we stay up. So it's just mad. It's mad. Do you know what I mean? It's mad. All I'm going to say is keep the faith. Let's see what this week brings. We know Trafford's a good goalkeeper, but we know playing out of the back is not his strongest. If Pep wants to persist with that, that has to change. Ederson could leave this week. I, for one, want to give Ederson his props because I think he's the best goalkeeper Manchester City's had for a long, long time. I think what we've seen Ederson do and achieve is fucking unbelievable. And when Ederson goes, people will start to realise how good Ederson was. Don't forget the Istanbul final, how good he was there. Don't forget all these games you've seen Ederson where he's pulled it out the bag. Has he made mistakes? Of course he has. Show me a goalkeeper that don't make mistakes. But I'll tell you what, the amount of games he's won us with his long balls and the dink out the press and things like that, outstanding. So if Ederson leaves this week, I, for one, want to wish him all the best. And I want to thank him from all the Manchester City fans, and for me especially, for being a fucking top-class goalkeeper who changed the mentality of our team and has won everything there is to win in the game. So for me, if he does leave Ederson, he leaves as one of the best, and everyone should appreciate him, in my opinion. You know what I mean? The right back situation's gone quiet. Nobody's really mentioning it. Livramento was the target. Don't think we're going to get him out of Newcastle. I really don't know where we go from here. You know, Akanji's been linked to Crystal Palace today. We're being linked with Gay, their centre back. I don't know. I'd take Gay. He's a good centre back, but I just don't know what's going on at the minute. But Pep seems to be looking at this offensive line and getting these players in, etc., etc. But the back four has got to tighten up. It does not look like a title-winning back four to me. Do you know what I mean? The goalkeeper situation has got to be fixed. Donnarumma coming in, I'm all for it. You know what I mean? But I'm just a little bit worried about this playing with the feet, because when we don't do it, we look exposed. We look exposed. But other than that, people, tonight, Oldham Athletic, Boundary Park, the under-21 team is going to face Oldham. I'm going to be there tonight for that. Then I'm having a little break. I'm off in the morning. I'm going to fly out to warmer climates. I'm going to have a break. I'm going to defrost the kids. I'm going to spend a bit of time with them. I didn't go early August like used to. So you're not probably going to get a Brighton review or a match reaction, but I'll be back for the Derby week. So all I'm going to say is thank you again to everyone for looking at my channel. Thanks for everybody for supporting, liking my streams. I've had, I think I've had an increase of about 2,000 subscribers in the last couple of weeks. So I'm absolutely over the moon with that. And like you say, got a lot of people coming up to me at the match at weekend saying, keep saying what you're saying, Steve. And I always will, you know what I mean? It's my opinion. If you don't like it, that's fine. You know what I mean? You can leave me a comment and we'll talk about it. We're not trying to get on anyone's back. I'm just trying to be open and honest. In my opinion, the Rico Lewis situation needs sorting out. I do not believe myself that he's good enough. If that upsets him, like it upset him last time, then I don't give a fuck. At the end of the day, it's my opinion. I'm a season ticket holder. I pay me money. I give me opinion on everyone. I think Jeremy Doku is on thin ice as well. He needs to start booking up his ideas. And I think that Pep needs to look at this back four defence and have a look at it, because if we go into this season now with what we've got, it's going to be a long ride. Other than that, please leave a like, a comment, share my streams, and yeah, keep the faith. Brighton away, we can do it. Up the Blues.